Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. Vice President. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith.
Please welcome Chief Justice Roberts to administer.
And allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge. The duties of the office. On which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
Please welcome Chief Justice Roberts to administer the Presidential Oath of Office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Oh, now it starts. That's bad. Bad news. So today we have Dictator Day 1. Mass deportations, closing the border, ending birthright citizenship, freeing the Jan 6 rioters, tariffs on Canada and Mexico, ending the Green New Deal atrocities. This is what we have in store once all of this bullshit is over with. He is so weird and so strange. Oh my god. Why does Melania wear those dramatic hats? That's also very strange and weird. There's not a single person in here wearing a hat. Maybe there's one green ball cap here, but such a crazy, crazy fucking family. See? Glee Club is great. You get stuffed into lockers now and again, but you get to cool stuff like this. While the people that stuff you in the lockers, they get to do work release. Is he gonna do the double jerk dance now to the Glee Club? Not bad. I think that's the Battle Hymn of the Republic, if I'm not mistaken.
It is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, thank you very, very much.
Oh, fuck yourself.
Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court.
He cannot talk.
President
I think he
Clinton,
had a stroke personally.
President
I
Bush,
can't say. I'm not a medical
President
doctor.
Obama,
I think he had a stroke at some point in time, a mild one, that affects his right side, his language, his
and
memory,
fellow
his right leg that he can't walk on
The
anymore.
golden age of America
Always
begins right
gripping
now.
everything really tightly every time he stands. Pretty, I don't know, layman's classic symbols of someone who had a left side stroke.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every
We will be
nation.
hated all over the
We will
world.
not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer.
No one is taking advantage of us.
During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
Great, super, awesome.
Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice
This
will be
has to be
balanced.
a Steve
The
Miller.
vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of
This is
the
a Steve Miller
Justice
speech.
Department and our government
And maybe even
will
a
end.
Stephen Miller speech or a Jason Miller speech, or combined together.
And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free.
We are free, we are prosperous, and everyone here is
Will
proud
soon
except for
be
you.
Greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before.
You sound like a transformer.
I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world. And America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust.
No.
For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad.
See, I think Trump cannot do anything but a campaign speech. He's won.
Citizens,
What is he doing?
provide sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons.
Who are you
and mental
convincing? You won.
institutions
That's it.
that
It's
have
over.
illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina.
This guy cannot last in office. Look at him. He can barely speak. He's holding it together. Like he's
And other
forming
states who are still
each
suffering
word
from a
like he's
hurricane
gonna
that took place
break
months
down
ago.
or cry or something,
Or
which
more
of course he
recently,
wouldn't
Los
because he has
Angeles,
no
where we're
emotions, but
watching fires still tragically burn from weeks ago without even a token of defense. They're raging
All
through
lies.
cities and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let
Why is it interesting? It's tragic.
everyone is
Climate change fueled wildfires burned their house down.
to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly.
Nothing like this will happen. It will just be strife and conflict politically,
My recent
physically,
election is a mandate to
between
completely
people.
and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
Don Jr. completely raged up there. You can see that. He's doing the super head shake.
No longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is why each day under our administration of American patriots, we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, and very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states, and the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true. Thank you. Thank you. National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God.
Oh my God.
Do that.
Yeah, my God. That's what we're doing now. We're doing that bullshit.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
Okay. So it's like this wedding. You know, you got the groom side and the bride side, and you can tell like who's into it or not. So not a lot of Democrats
All illegal entry
here
will
today.
immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy.
I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure federal law says that that's
I will end the
not
practice
legal.
of catch and release.
Pretty sure
And I will
about
send
that.
troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
So we're going to war with Mexican cartels. I'm pretty sure that Tom Clancy wrote a book about that in the 90s, and it didn't go well.
And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities.
So what is the difference between a city and an inner city?
As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices.
I don't know how you do that. What is he talking about?
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
Oh, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. There's a great Climate Town video on gas production in the United States, and there is so much that's they cannot process anymore. It's full. All the production is full.
The largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth.
We already do
We
this.
are going to use it. Let me use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world.
Yet we already do that. We are the largest, I think,
We will be a
exporter.
rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
Yeah, and so tell me that Elon Musk is not interested in his fucking car company at all. I mean, normally you wouldn't give someone $500 million for him to disincentivize your product.
We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with that.
I really wonder how this is going to kind of trickle down to local communities that want to build like bike lanes and things like this.
And families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries.
Oh, I have to turn off these ridiculous.
Citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service.
Yeah, that already exists.
Tariffs, duties,
that's the National Tariff and Treaty Office, I think.
Our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before to restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Which apparently Vivek Ramaswamy was already fired from the other day. So it's pretty efficient. That's one down. One job which was eliminated.
Federal efforts to restrict free expression. I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
It's never left.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
Yeah. Great.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Yeah, the problem with that
As of today,
is that it's really not merit-based, it's color-based.
Policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
So if I look down the Dictator Day 1 list here, we have mass deportations, closing the border. He's hit the Green New Deal. Transgender ban in the military and whatever he can control there.
This week I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay.
Not even sure how you do that. I'm sure someone will take that to court, or, you know.
And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies.
Who's he looking at? I mean, half of me thinks this just has to be like a bit, you know, like it's an Apprentice bit, and it's all an act, and the other half is just like maybe he likes it. I have no idea. He certainly doesn't have any ideological positions. Used to be a Democrat. Gave money to Hillary.
Wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
Ah, there's Vivek, standing, saying, "Hey, look at me, don't fire me."
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say
He wants to
that as of
unify
yesterday, one day
all of the
before I
petrodollars
assumed office,
into his bank
the
account.
hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families.
Oh, enough with the standing. Ah, Joe Biden, do not stand up. Ah, come on.
Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth,
Who took this place?
inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name
Not even
of the
sure.
great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
I mean, he's just like the most blatant racist you could find.
McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The
United States
think of this, spent more money
cannot speak.
than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form. And
I
that
feel like he's
includes the
currently
United
right
States
now
of
having a
America.
heart attack.
And above all, China
He is so
controlling
unhealthy.
the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Okay. So, East Coast. You want something from China? Well, good luck for you. Good luck for you.
Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization.
What does all of that
So
mean?
as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free.
By feeding them
The United
McDonald's
States
every
will
day?
once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. and we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and
Manifest destiny into the stars. Ugh. If you had any idea how far away fucking planet Mars is from here, it is a hopeless fantasy for us to go there and walk around and do anything.
Is the lifeblood of a great nation. And right now our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors.
I'm actually embarrassed as an American.
A vast continent into a mighty republic.
Unbelievable.
Extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close.
Fucking unbelievably xenophobic speech. This is incredible.
Rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted
Elon
billions
Musk,
from
Jesus.
poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is
iPhone
nothing
call
we
out.
cannot do, and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you
Not
see
really.
today, here I am. The American people have spoken.
You're the closest available racist for everyone who likes that thing to vote for.
I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights.
And
for
slaves
our
and Chinese
freedom.
workers.
They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America, promise.
He
and we
cannot
will
speak.
rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We're going to win like never before.
It's all nothing at all. It's empty. Everything is empty.
Thank you.
Oh, there's that fucking governor of Texas maniac.
Thank you. Thank you.
Barbed wire and the water
In
governor.
recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before.
I thought you did that already.
We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill, we will be prosperous, we will be proud, we will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered, we will not be intimidated, we will not be broken, and
Sounds
we will
like
not fail.
he
From
feels a
this
lot of
day
these
on,
things
the
about
United
himself,
States of America
because
will be
that's
a
actually
free,
not the
sovereign,
country
and
at all.
independent nation. We will stand bravely, we will live proudly, we will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you.
What are you,
God bless
retiring?
America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Terrible. Terrible. Worst speech, worse than even the first time he did it. I mean, Barron Trump, he looks literally like a 20-year-old Mr. Burns.
Ladies and gentlemen, performing America the Beautiful, please welcome the Armed Forces Chorus and Carrie Underwood.
Come on, let's go. Are they piping it in? No, that can't be. They don't have a band there? That would be... that's strange. Trump is mentally firing everyone in this musical musical organization. I lost the audio. I guess there's no audio on this channel.
You know the words, help me out here.
Ah, okay, here we go.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of
This all feels like a Christmas special, like some strange, Carrie Underwood and the Muppets Christmas special. Well, I shouldn't disparage the Muppets, but like it all feels fake, like it's a game show or some sort of variety show. Oh, God, it's so fucking terribly cringe. Jesus. I mean, the one thing about Joe Biden is whoever dresses him, he does a good job. He always looks peak. But it's a big laugher here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Fisher will now introduce the benediction clergy.
The Air Force sergeant with the
I now call Rabbi
headset. That's great.
Ari Berman, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, and Reverend Frank Mund to provide prayers of benediction.
So there's about 50,000 MAGA chuds that had come to D.C. to watch this outdoors, despite the cold, who I guess are watching it in their hotel right now, or a bar, or someplace. I guess this basketball stadium is open a bit, but I mean, you can't fit everybody in there.
And blessed its inhabitants with the Hebrew words, Baruch HaGever Asher Yiftach BaHashem. Blessed is the one who trusts in God. Thousands of years later, this great nation which adopted these words.
This is a private Orthodox Jewish university with 4 campuses in New York City.
Stands at a moment of historic opportunity. Americans are searching for meaning. Our merciful Father, help us rise to meet this moment. Bless President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance with the strength and courage to choose the right and the good. Unite us around our foundational biblical values of life and liberty, of service and sacrifice, and especially of faith and morality, which George Washington called the indispensable supports of American prosperity. Guide our schools and college campuses, which have been experiencing such unrest, to inspire the next generation.
Well,
to pair
maybe
with
the
purpose,
IDF should stop killing a lot of
knowledge
people.
with wisdom, and truth with virtue. Hear the cry of the hostages, both American and Israeli, whose pain our president so acutely feels. We are so thankful for the 3 young women who yesterday returned home, and pray that the next 4 years brings peace to Israel and throughout the Middle East. Almighty God, grant all Americans the opportunity to realize our shared dream.
I really wonder what the Southern Christians think about this. If they're in on the whole, no matter what God it is, we have to do the right thing kind of deal, or are they just laughing this off? All of the ultra Christians. I really want to do the accent, but I'm not going to do that.
America is called to greatness, to be a beacon of light and a mover of history. May our nation merit the fulfillment of Jeremiah's blessing. That like a tree planted by water, we shall not cease to bear fruit. May all of humanity experience your love and your blessing.
It's all like 10 or 12 like greeting cards, just read in a row. None of it makes any sense.
Let us pray for our 47th president. Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that you gave our 45th and now our 47th president a millimeter miracle. We are grateful that you are the one that have called him for such a time as this, that America would begin to dream again. We pray that we would fulfill the true meaning of our creed, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. We pray that you use our president, that we will live in a nation where we will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we are so grateful today that you will use our 47th president so we would sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
The 180 Church website is getting hammered right now because no one knows who this person is.
From every mountainside, let freedom ring, and because America is called to be a great nation, We believe that you will make this come true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous hilltops of California,
He was arrested for church jacking and banned from his church after the locks were changed by the Stand With Evangel who won him out as pastor. This was a couple of years ago. I really wonder why they want him out as pastor. I can't think of it. I don't know why that is.
Black men and white men, Protestant and Catholic.
I mean, he's a performer, that's for sure.
Will be able to sing in the meaning of that old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank you, God Almighty. We are free at last. If you believe where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Come on, put your hands together and give your great God.
Donald Trump has no idea what's happening right now. This loud black man is yelling some things.
Almighty and eternal God,
who do we have here?
Today in reverence, joined in our shared hopes and dreams for our beloved nation. In this sacred moment of the inauguration of President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, we turn our hearts to you, seeking your divine assistance and abundant blessings upon this pivotal moment in history. We come before you with profound gratitude for the many gifts you have bestowed on our land. Thank you for the freedoms we cherish, for the strength of our communities, and for the resilience of our spirit. As our President and Vice President embrace their newly appointed roles, we humbly implore that your everlasting love and wisdom will envelop them. Grant them the clarity of mind to navigate the challenges that lie ahead.
Okay, so this guy, Father Frank Mann, seemed to have been taking care of the Trump, Fred Trump and Elizabeth Trump and Mary Trump and the other Fred Trump and the other Fred Trump, Jr., Sr., their graves. He cleans them and puts flowers on them, so for sure then he gets to speak here. It's always a transaction, absolutely. There's no merit to anything. Not that you need a lot of merit to do a convocation at a crazy fascist inauguration, but yeah, it's all a transaction.
May each decision made by our President and Vice President reflect the values of justice and peace. As we embark on this new chapter, we also seek your comfort, O God, for those who feel lost or disheartened. In this time of transition, may your light shine upon them, reaffirming their belief in a brighter tomorrow. May we all strive to lift one another, supporting our fellow citizens with kindness and empathy, recognizing that together we can overcome any adversity. Grant us the strength to endure, the courage to face our fears, and the clarity to see the light that remains, even when clouds of uncertainty may gather. Inspire our new leaders to be champions for the vulnerable and advocates for those whose voices are often silenced. May they pursue policies that promote the well-being of all, seeking to build bridges that will foster unity and belonging. As we stand witness to this inauguration, we hold fast to the faith, to our faith in the goodness of each of us and the possibility of change. We trust that with your guidance, O God, our nation can move forward to a future filled with promise, prosperity, and understanding. And finally, we lift our hearts in gratitude for the beloved parents of President Trump. Without Mary and Fred Trump, this day would never be the miracle that has just begun. From their place in heaven, may they shield their son from all harm by their loving protection, and give him the strength to guide our nation along the path that will make America great again. Let us go forth now with these words of President Trump's emblazoned on our hearts. As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail. We stand tall, we stand proud, because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God, and to God alone.
Oh my God, what the fuck? Americans kneel to God and God alone. I mean, what are we doing? What the hell are we doing? Who is this? Is this the external tax collector? Tell me this is not Ralph Macchio's Christopher Macchio. So he's a regular on the Republican opera circuit, if there is imaginably such a thing. He performed at the Republican convention this year as well. And he serenaded First Lady Melania with New York, New York at Madison Square Garden. What a guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain at your seats while the President and official party depart the platform.
No rushing the stage, anyone. Now he's leaving. 5 stars Joe Biden gives this as a rating. A 5-star rating for this inauguration Joe Biden gives. I posted on Blue Sky this morning. I was watching Trump arriving at the White House this morning, and Biden is standing there waiting for Trump to get out of the SUV. And as soon as the SUV door opens and Trump comes out, he immediately said, "Welcome home."
Presidents and former presidents are leaving the Capitol Rotunda, the first time that the inauguration has taken place there since 1985 and Ronald Reagan. So once the dais is cleared, the next thing on the agenda for President Trump and former President Biden is for the Trumps to say goodbye to the Bidens on the East Front. The Bidens will get into Marine One, the helicopter, and they will fly to Andrews Air Force Base, where there will be another ceremony for former President Biden. President Trump has several hours still at the Capitol before he goes off to Capital One Arena, where a truncated parade will take place.
A truncated parade. It's in the arena.
Ceremony as well. Looks like he'll be returning to the White House at about 5 p.m. this afternoon after he speaks to supporters at Capital One Arena. Before he leaves the Capitol today, he will visit the overflow crowd. About 800 guests were in the rotunda. About 1,300 are in the overflow crowd in Emancipation Hall. That's in the adjacent Capitol Visitor Center. He'll go and make remarks and greet those folks.
Do some more xenophobia over there.
There'll be a congressional signing ceremony. And that's the afternoon. That will take about until 3 p.m.
My God, Melania looks so terrible.
For a truncated parade.
I mean,
and then
what is she doing?
The White House at about 5. So that's what's coming up this afternoon, all live on C-SPAN. A reminder, all events on C-SPAN 2 are without commentary, and you can watch just the events happening there.
Gotta watch the hand holding there. Oh, Trump almost tripped. Hot mic, everybody. Hot mic. Idiot son in 1 and 2.
Family, and that is President Trump's father-in-law.
I mean, Barron looks like they just beat him all day long. I've never seen the guy smile once, ever.
And they will be departing soon. The Trumps and the Bidens will be heading out to the east front of the Capitol in just a second, and the Bidens will fly off in Marine One. That's the east front as we speak. But
why do they have to take a helicopter from?
Let's check in with John McCardle and see if there's any news.
Peter, it was the longest inaugural address in the modern political era. It was just under 30 minutes long, 29 minutes and 48 seconds, according to the official C-SPAN count kept by C-SPAN's Jeremy Art. Let me show you his chart going back to FDR in 1933. You can see the lengths in minutes and seconds of each inaugural address. Donald Trump's inaugural address this year was almost twice as long as his inaugural address back in 2017 when he became the 45th president. It was about 9 minutes longer than Joe Biden's 2021 inaugural address at 21 minutes. The longest before now was Bill Clinton in 1997, at almost 22 minutes. On social media, congratulations pouring in from around the globe for the 47th President of the United States. I want to show you some of the world leaders sending out their congratulations. Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. On behalf of the United Kingdom, I send my warmest congratulations to President Donald Trump on his inauguration, saying the special relationship between the UK and the US will continue to flourish for years to come. This is Narendra Modi the Prime Minister of India. Congratulations, my dear friend, President Donald Trump, on your historic inauguration. I look forward to working closely together once again to benefit both our countries and shape a better future. And this from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying, Sarah and I send our warmest wishes to you, Melania, and the American people on the second inauguration as President of the United States. And then one more from social media to show you. It was right as President Trump was giving the oath of office that the White House website officially changed over. And this is what you will see if you go to whitehouse.gov right now. America is back is the banner headline. Every single day I will be fighting for you with every breath in my body. I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's the promise right now at whitehouse.gov.
And also, while a few minutes just before noon, then President Biden pardoned his two brothers and his sister Valerie for anything that they might be charged with. He did that pardon while everybody was at the Capitol. This is a live.
That's awesome. More pardons. I'm with Keith Olbermann on this. Like a million pardons. Just everybody that ever has looked at Donald Trump the wrong way.
Off to California for a vacation following his 4 years in the White House. Well, joining us from Dallas is Jeffrey Engel, who is with Southern Methodist University Center for Presidential History. Professor Engel, what's your immediate reaction to Donald Trump's inaugural address?
You know, it sounded remarkably like one of his campaign speeches, and that's very unusual for presidential addresses. Usually presidential inaugural addresses are when the president tries to, reach to the highest rhetoric and reach to the clouds and give a big meaning to what they're trying to do, especially when we see somebody in their second inaugural. The second inaugural for George W. Bush, for example, is when he talked about the freedom agenda. Essentially, it's the time when presidents usually try to essentially lay out the themes of what they're going to do, but without all the specifics. I mean, obviously, President Trump told us that he wanted to do everything to make America strong and powerful again. And then
it's Junior with his new piece.
That I think we don't
new lady.
From presidents, but then again,
or that's his daughter. I'm sorry. That was uncalled for. But he did get rid of the crazy Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Energy. That's unusual.
Yes, it's really remarkable, and the number of things in which, one had to turn your eye again and again and again from President Trump to President Biden. Essentially, the number of times that the president twisted the knife of, if you will, of twisting the policies. I'm reminded in some ways by John Kennedy when he took the oath of office and succeeded Dwight Eisenhower. He talked about the torch being passed to a new generation, but he didn't actually go in and say, because the old generation had failed us. It was assumed that the new generation was going to be something that was innovative and vigorous. It didn't have to be said. President Trump certainly took the opportunity to lay out essentially what could have been one of his campaign speeches.
What is your take on the fact that Joe Biden pardoned more family members while everybody was at the Capitol? Not sure that Donald Trump was aware of that going in.
I think the flurry of pardons in the last few hours, and particularly in the last day, has done something different to my eyes as a historian. Normally, we see people being pardoned when they've committed a crime or when they've been convicted of a crime. The blanket pardons that President Biden has given, especially given the sense of his opposition, that he has made the Justice Department into one of his own political weapons. The blanket pardons, strike me as very, very dangerous and very uncomfortable. And the reason is that, essentially what you're doing is setting a precedent for future presidents to go ahead and say to their staff and say to the people working for them, go ahead and do whatever you want, even if it includes breaking the law, because I will pardon you. And I'll even pardon you for things that hasn't been identified or named yet, that essentially are still secret, perhaps. So it's a very uncomfortable precedent. I mean, one can understand on a human level why President Biden would fear for his family members, but and that too is sad and unusual in American history. But this is an odd precedent to essentially get a get out of jail free card for something that has not yet been identified as a crime.
You can see a live picture on your screen, east front of the Capitol. The Trumps and the Bidens are gathered for the farewell ceremony. Let's watch for a minute.
Jill Biden is like, get me the fuck out of here right now. I've got other things to do. America, you land the helicopters everywhere. What are you doing?
Now, as many of you know, inaugurals were traditionally held on the east front of the Capitol, where you see the president and the helicopter sitting right now. And that was until 1985 and 1981. And Ronald Reagan moved it to the west. Looking west was one of the themes of his first inaugural. And it's been on the West Front ever since. And of course, the second Reagan inaugural was held inside the rotunda because of the weather. And today's inaugural was held inside the rotunda, the first time in 40 years because of the weather. It's about 20, 25 degrees here in Washington, but quite windy. And it was predicted to be a little bit colder than it actually is. So there'll be a truncated parade this afternoon at the Capital One Arena. That's where the Washington Capitals hockey team play and the Washington Wizards basketball team, and that will occur this afternoon. Of course, we will be live with that as well. But coming up at the Capitol after the Bidens take off for Andrews Air Force Base and fly to Santa Barbara, there is going to be a presidential visit to the overflow crowd. About 1,300 more people were in Emancipation Hall, which is at the Congressional Visitor Center adjacent to the Capitol. The president will do some signing, and we'll find out what that's about, and then he will attend a congressional luncheon and a review of the troops before he departs the Capitol today, predicted about 3:30 p.m. before he gets out of there. So we will be back with our guest, Jeffrey Engel of Southern Methodist University. We'll talk about some of this afternoon's events, and we'll also be checking the news with John McCardle as we go. But let's watch Marine One take off.
I didn't know that. It's all crazy. All crazy. I don't know, maybe like the Danish Prime Minister, he just rides home on his bicycle. As it should be. And there he goes.
Not bad, huh?
Very bad.
And the Bidens are off to Andrews Air Force Base. There will be a small ceremony there as well with the Bidens, and we will bring that to you at some point this afternoon as well. You can see Air Force One is there. It is not called Air Force One when the president is not riding on it. My guess is it's called Air Mission 46, President Biden being the 46th president. That's just a wild guess, and we'll find out. But you can see that is readied for the Bidens to take them to California. You saw Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff get in their limousine and head to where they're heading as well. So that's Washington, D.C. on inaugural day. And as you can see, that would normally be full of people and crowds, but the mall is empty. The Capitol is empty as well. All sorts of things were set up. There were TV monitors out there. The parade, that's Pennsylvania Avenue on the far left of your screen, not right next to the mall, but on the far left. And that's where the parade is normally held. That will not happen this time because that will be, the president will be motorcading to Capital One Arena. less than a mile from what you see there on your screen, and then Capital One Arena, about a mile or so from the White House. And that's Capital One Arena, full of Donald Trump supporters. They were listening in during his inaugural address, and I think we were showing some shots of them as well, applauding. But there is an overflow crowd at the Capitol Visitor Center, and this is Emancipation Hall. Capitol Visitor Center is about 15 years old. It's built underground. It's built under the parking lot where you saw the helicopter take off, and this is the main entrance for visitors to the Capitol. We can see that they're getting ready to have a speaking portion here as well, and we will listen in. Well, we are learning that President Trump is giving remarks to the overflow crowd in Emancipation Hall. We're going to be waiting for those and bring those to you live. Standing up on the dais, you can see Speaker Mike Johnson and his wife, and the Majority Leader of the House of Representatives, Steve Scalise, and his wife or daughter. I cannot see from this angle. That's his wife, of course. Both Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise are from Louisiana. And Deb Fischer is on the far right with her husband. Deb Fischer is there. She's a senator from Nebraska, the Republican senator from Nebraska, was reelected in 2024 by about 6-7 points. Little controversy because in her swearing in for this most recent term, her husband would not shake hands with Kamala Harris, who as vice president is president of the Senate. So there's a little bit of controversy there with Deb Fischer. Here's the Speaker of the House.
Trump's triumphant return to the White House. Right now, already this morning, you can feel it around the country. We certainly felt it here in the city. America is coming together and roaring back again, and it begins today, as the President just told us. I know we'd all rather be gathered together on the National Mall with hundreds of thousands of our closest
Weasel.
friends, but our disappointment is well overcome with our excitement for the future that we feel today. We have the chance to make the next 4 years the most consequential period in our nation's history. And as Speaker of the House, it is my great pleasure, my great honor, to introduce to you the man who will lead us to this new golden age, the decisive winner of the Electoral College and the popular vote, the 45th and the 47th, and the greatest president of our lifetimes,
oh my
Donald
God.
J. Trump.
What the? It's just terrible. Trailer park all the way down. And it's so crazy. I mean, the guy is a New York City real estate developer. I guess he was born in one of the boroughs. And he's been doing this stuff, and now his entire support base is just MAGA weirdos, chuds, trailer park freaks, like no one that you would really look up to and say, yeah, that's the kind of person I want to be. It's bad. So, it seems like he did not actually win the popular vote, which I didn't think so. Oh, I see. He did win the popular vote, but he did not secure a majority of the vote. It was less than 50%. Interesting. Okay.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. And was that a hell of a speech or what? That was, man.
It was long and filled with lies and xenophobia.
I didn't know exactly what the president would put in that speech, and I hoped to myself that he wasn't going to hold back. And, sir, you didn't hold back. That was a hell of a way to start the next 4 years. But
Sir.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, and I know I speak for the president and for all of us, thank you, thank you, thank you for making this possible. We love you. We wouldn't be here without you, and we're going to make America great again together for the next 4 years. And the last thing I'll say is, you know, having stood outside for about 5 minutes to wave goodbye to the Bidens, thank God we moved that thing indoors because it was a beautiful ceremony and it was cold as hell outside. So, sir, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
No, he's right. I looked, I said, oh, look at this beautiful sunny day. We blew it, and then I went outside and we were freezing. You would have been very unhappy. The sun was very deceptive, I will tell you. It is cold out. And I'm sort of saying, you know, that was so beautiful today. Maybe they should do it there every 4 years. Does that make sense? I don't know. Because, you know, the outdoor thing is really good, but it gets a little cold around this time of the year, as some people have noticed. And a lot of times they suffer through it. There was no suffering in that room.
That sound you heard was Mike Johnson's phone going off because his son needs to report his porn usage at the moment.
But I just want to say, you're a younger, far more beautiful audience that I just spoke to. And I want to keep it off the record. I want to keep that off the record. Because I don't want to have all those big shots up there. I don't want to think you're more powerful than them, you look better than them, and I love you. Now, we just had a great time. We just had a great day. This was amazing. You know, when you think we took a journey, I mentioned in the speech, a lot of people said that was not a journey that was possible, and it was indeed possible. I didn't really know too much about what they were saying when they said that, but a lot of people felt it, and we hooked up with J.D. very early. I watched J.D. over a period of time. I endorsed him in Ohio. He was a great senator, and very, very smart. The only one smarter than him was his wife. That was, I would have chosen her, but somehow the line of succession didn't work that way, right? But now she's great, and he's great. This is a great, beautiful couple, and unbelievable career. I just said to him, you are very upwardly mobile, because he hasn't been doing it that long, but he picked it up so quickly. Remember, the first week was a little bit like the fake news was hitting him really hard, and I said, ooh, this may be tough, but after that, it was smooth sailing for him. He took on everybody. He took on the meanest. I don't want to use the word corrupt because we're into a new system, so let's wait till the corruption begins, because it will. But he took on some mean people, and he handled it well. I want to also congratulate Mike Johnson for the job that he's doing. Steve, we gave him a majority of almost nothing, and then I said to make it tougher on him, let me take 2 or 3 of the people, right? I said he'll only have to suffer with that for about 3 months. How are they doing, by the way? Are they? Is that moving along?
Totally unified.
I said, do you mind if I take this one, that one, and a couple of others? He didn't mind. He can handle it. No, he's a man that's liked by everybody. I've never met a man like this. You've got how many is it, 219 or 220 or something? 220. And of the 220, 219 really like him. I noticed he got 1 negative vote once about 2 weeks ago. But I think even 220 like him, if you want to know the truth. And that's very unusual. I know a lot of nice guys in Congress, and they have 35 people that hate him. So if you have 35 people that hate you and you only have 1 or 2 or 3 votes, you'll have 5, I think. But that's going to be like, you know, the good news is when we get to that 5 number, it's going to feel like a massive majority. You could be really nasty to a couple of them at least, you know? So it's going to feel like hitting your head on the wall and stopping. It feels so good to stop. But he's done a fantastic job. And Steve Scalise is... he's our hero because, you know, I was with him. You talk about being shot. I was with him. He got some bad ones, and his incredible wife, and she really loves him. You know, you never know about that. I've been with other people. They were doing poorly, and the wife is like looking at her watch. She can't get out of the hospital fast enough. How's he doing? Oh, I don't know. He's all right. That woman was a mess. She was crying.
It's like dinner hour at the in the Poconos.
I told Steve when he finally woke up, it was a while too. The doctor told me it was the most blood they've ever transfused in any patient.
What?
They've never done anything like it. And here he is, the picture of strength, right? And he's been a great friend of mine, right? With a family, because of a family. And what a job you did. It worked out pretty much better than we even thought, right? And I did have a couple of things, you know, to say that were extremely controversial. And between J.D. and Melania and anybody else that heard, please, sir, it's such a beautiful unifying speech. Please, sir, don't say these things. I said, I'm telling you, it's going to play great. They said,
It did not.
For this group of people, it's going to play great. You're the only ones I hurt by not, but we had some beauties, didn't we, Melania? She said, sir, calls me sir when she's angry. No.
Yeah,
I'm
actually, it
only
was a
kidding.
funny
I better
joke,
say
but
I'm only kidding, or the press is going to pick that one up loud and clear. No, but she said, no, I think it would be terrible. It's such a nice speech. I think it's, you know, it all depends on your delivery. How was the delivery? Was it good?
no, it showed that you had probably a stroke and you can't speak.
Such a beautiful speech. You can't put things in there that you were going to put in. And I was going to talk about the J6 hostages, but you'll be happy because, you know, it's action, not words that count. And you're going to see a lot of action on the J6 hostages. See a lot of action.
All right already. I mean, we get it, right?
We're going to talk about the things that
You gotta
today with the
pardon all of them.
People that were very, very guilty of very bad crimes, like the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs, where they literally, I mean, what they did is they destroyed and deleted all.
I mean, this guy is like a manager that just got like a promotion, and he has to tell everyone that he got a promotion, and he got a raise, and he got a new car. And he just can't stop fucking talking about things that make no difference at all. You have the raise, you have the new car. Go and use it. Go be happy. Shut up about it.
But we have a lot of great photos.
He won.
But you don't see those photographs. They don't put them in to show the
I honestly think that somehow the guy is just focused on the game, right? It's all about the A to B and just doing that. That's it. Not even winning, because like winning for him, it doesn't even seem satisfying at all. It just seems like he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the feeling you get when you win. He just wants to keep doing the fighting.
Information that we gave upstairs, but no, they pardoned a lot of people. They pardoned before we even get to today. They pardoned 33 murderers, absolute murderers, the worst murderers. You know, when you get the death sentence in the United States, you have to be bad because they don't give it much. And he pardoned almost everybody.
There should be no death sentence in America.
That were committed,
nowhere, in fact. Capital punishment is absolutely barbaric and unnecessary.
The innocence of people.
Kill someone, go to jail.
Children killed by these people, and he pardoned them for whatever reason. He spared them, but they didn't spare the people that they killed. And you know, who knows what happens in the future. It's one of the worst because a lot of times they let them out early after that. You know, they say you're going to be in for life, but then all of a sudden they get let out for good behavior, and then they go on a rampage. You know, it's one of those little things, right? But I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, the echo's not me.
I was going to talk about the level of, you know, what's going on. Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to help a guy like Milley? Why are we doing Milley? He was pardoned. What he said, terrible what he said. Why are we helping some of the people why are we helping Liz Cheney? I mean, Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic and crying Adam Kinzinger. He's a super crying. I never saw the guy not crying. He's always crying. I looked at him. I remember years ago he was actually on my side.
J.D. Vance has the eyeliner back on. I don't know. Does he feel like no one can see his eyes or something? Did he get some advice about this? This is like a puzzle for me. I'm fixated on why this man is wearing like eyeliner. I don't get it.
They destroyed and deleted all of that information that went on for almost 2 years against Trump. And the reason,
I mean, if you're just like a regular person running around, you want to wear eyeliner, super, great. But he's like the vice president on TV, meeting with whoever in the world and doing stuff like, does anyone ever say to him, JD, at 100 meters away on TV, you look like you have raccoon eyes? Like, it's not flattering.
Made up fiction. And I was rebuffed. And the guy on the right is a massive weightlifter, probably stronger than me. Do you think he's stronger than me, honey? You know who I'm talking. Possibly stronger than me. Slightly younger than me, like, I won't say how many years because I don't want to talk about that, but a lot of years. But I had a friend that said, why are you disputing that story? That's the coolest story I've ever heard. That I would attack a karate champion, get slightly rebuffed, and then...
What is he talking about?
...on the guy with a neck about this big. Even though there are bars, you know, there are bars, you can't really do that anyway. So I wanted to talk about that. But all of that stuff got deleted. And the reason it got deleted is they were all caught in lies. You know, Secret Service testified, and they said it didn't happen. Actually, the two guys were very embarrassed. They're suffering because their friends are saying, did Trump really do that to you? But they gained a whole new respect for me. But it was just make-believe stuff, and there were a lot of make-believe stories made up. So rather than suffer the wrath, like the story with Nancy Pelosi, I offered her 10,000 soldiers. She knows it. She admitted it on tape that her daughter made. She's a videographer or whatever you call her, which I'm glad she is. Oh, she can't be in good stead with Nancy. But Nancy said it was my responsibility as she's leaving the Capitol. She said it was, and it was. She's in charge of security at the Capitol. But I offered them up to 10,000 soldiers, even more. One time I said more, as many as you need. But you needed 400 or 500. If 4 or 5, you 10,000, that would be more than the number of people there by lot. But we offered her 10,000.
All right, I gotta go. This is too much, and I will talk to my darling wife now and have some dinner. See you later.